It says, the White Lotus just tackled autogynephilia and my jaw is on the fucking floor. I'm genuinely shocked they let this scene air, but in a good way. This is what autogynephilia is. And if White Lotus is like a show that average normies have access to, this is huge that autogynephilia might actually enter the average vernacular and might actually be able to get talked about rather than being told that it's some far-right conspiracy theory of a made-up word that's not real. Because that's what a lot of people use when they try to call me a hateful Nazi transphobe. They say that autogynephilia is a far-right conspiracy theory and that it's not a real word. It's made up simply to discredit trans folk. And that's just not the case.
I moved here because, well, I had to leave the States, but I picked Thailand because I always had a thing for Asian girls, And when I
Average white supremacist, by the way.
got here, I was like a kid in a candy store. If you got money, no attachments, nothing to do, I started partying. Yeah. It got wild. Mm-hmm. I was picking up girls every night. Always different ones. Petite ones, chubby ones, older ones.
Sorry, I know he's talking about his, like, Asian fetish right now, but I like this guy's shirt. I think that's a nice shirt.
Sometimes multiple ladies a night. I was out of control. I became insatiable. Yeah. And, after about 1,000 nights like that, you start to lose it. I started wondering, where am I going with this? Why do I feel this need to fuck all these women? What is desire? The form of this cute Asian girl, why does it have such a grip on me? Because she's the opposite of me? Is she going to complete me in some way? I realized I could fuck a million women, I'd still never be satisfied. Maybe what I really want is to be one of these Asian girls.
Really?
Why not just become the woman? If women can't satisfy me, surely I'd be able to satisfy myself by becoming the woman.
Not really.
Not really.
Really?
So, one night I took home some girl, turned out to be a lady boy, which I'd done before, but this time...
He's gay now! He touched the penis! He's a gay man!
Instead of fucking the lady boy fucked me. And it was kind of magical. And I got in my head what I really wanted was to be one of these Asian girls.
This is again the like trick in autogynephilia. He fucked the lady boy, but the lady boy was the one putting him in his place. The lady boy was treating him as the woman by being the man who's fucking. In Thailand again. Shirt dude is horrified. He's gay. Yeah, he's gay. But a lot of these autogynephiliacs, they make leaps and bounds. They're just like, it's not gay because I'm being treated like a woman. I'm still straight. I'm still attracted to women because it's all about the femininity. It's all about the femininity and not the fact that they're biologically a woman. If I'm attracted to something feminine, I am straight. And this is why I hate current year and why dating fucking sucks.
Getting fucked by me and to feel that.
He's just so average, normal response to hearing this, honestly.
So I put out an ad looking for a white guy, my age, come over and fuck me. Found a guy looked a lot like me. Then I put on some lingerie and perfume, made myself look like one of these girls. And I thought I looked pretty hot.
The degree of narcissism involved in autogynephilia is insane. And like, once you understand what autogynephilia is and how narcissism plays a part, you also understand why they always immediately go to rage when you don't play in their game.
And then this guy came over and railed the shit out of me. And then I got addicted to that. One night, 3, 4 guys would come over and rail the shit out of me. Some-
You just escalate, just 3 to 4 guys railing the shit out of me, putting up that Craigslist ad. Oh, I'm down at the Hampton Inn, room 304. The door's open and unlocked. Come pause my neck hole. You just go crazy with it. You want to be treated like a woman all the time. It's also like an insane level of unironic misogyny because you start, I don't know when it starts, but like to get into autogynephilia, it's always a pornified version of what a woman is. And it's always thinking that, like, the more you are desired sexually, the more of a woman you are. It's an insane frame of mind to be in.
I even had to pay. And at the same time, I'd hire an Asian girl to just sit there and watch the whole thing. I'd look in her eyes while some guy was fucking me, and I'd think, I am her, and I'm fucking me.
I love the expression because, like, that's the correct expression to have when someone says something this fucking insane to you. And be like, hey, baby, I know I'm a strong white man who wants to fuck you, but I want to fuck me more than I want to fuck you. And more than I want to fuck me, I want you to watch me getting fucked by me so I can pretend I'm you getting fucked by me. It's the ultimate porn fantasy.
Hey, we all have our Achilles heel, man. You know? Where does it come from?
Yeah, we all have an Achilles heel. Some people drink too much. Some people smoke too much weed. Some people have the 20 guys rail their asshole while they're pretending to be a woman in the evenings. Everyone has an Achilles heel.
Why are some of us attracted to the opposite form? Yeah, and some of us the same. Sex is a poetic act. It's a metaphor. Metaphor for what? Are we our forms? Am I a middle-aged white guy on the inside, too? Or inside? Could I be an Asian girl?
Right.
Imagine all of this mental gymnastics to just not admit you're gay.
I don't know.
Guess I was trying to fuck my way to the answer.
I need to figure out a way to use that in the future. I was trying to fuck my way to the answer. That's a funny fucking line.
And then I realized I gotta stop the drugs, the girls, trying to be a girl. I got into Buddhism, which is all about, spirit person.
Oh, namaste. He's gonna go get one shot by Hayakusa now, or however the fuck you spell that.
Detaching from self, getting off the never-ending carousel of lust and suffering. Being sober isn't so hard. Being celibate, though, I still miss that buzzy, man.
Did he?
I still miss that buzzy, man.
Oh, okay. I thought he said, I still miss that bussy. And I was like, there's no way there's a mainstream TV show that said that. He said pussy with a P. All right, okay. So that was fascinating. I didn't watch that. That was my first time watching it. I just had the tweet pulled up. That was fascinating. And I'm happy to see that this is being talked about in like a TV show. Oh my god. And I'm glad that it's being talked about and not presented as like a good thing. This is presented in like a conversation where the person is clearly uncomfortable hearing it. Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. And for people who are asking, this show is called The White Lotus. I've never heard of it. I don't know where to watch it. But I think it's a good thing that autogynephilia is being talked about and not in a good manner in a mainstream TV show. I am her and I'm fucking me is a Marvel plotline. It's on HBO, apparently. It's a normie show. Yeah, that's great that it's a normie show. That's fucking great that it's normie and they're gonna fucking hear this shit. Isn't that the Sargon show? Wait, what? Is this character a narcissist? He seems to be trying to stop his bad habit. The degree of, like, shame you probably feel, like, the post-nut clarity, I can only imagine hits you like the plane hitting the Twin Towers. The prequels to Fallout is wild. No, that's Lotus Eaters. Oh, okay. Oh, some guy was asked. Oh. Yeah, no, this is not a YouTuber podcast. This is an HBO show. Be careful though, sometimes radical ideas are inserted into mainstream by framing it as crazy and then later pushing the idea further. That's true. They could try to, like, in a further episode be like, oh, we presented this guy as crazy at first, but actually here's why it's a good thing. I hope they don't do that. And if they do that, I'm fucking obviously gonna be against it. You've never seen someone out gay homosexuality like this before. White Lotus is super good. There's a whole segment calling out modern art and how critics search for meaning that isn't there while condemning simple enjoyment. Interesting. I've never heard of it, so I don't know anything about the show. In Thailand, autogynephiliacs usually retain their ding-dings. I wouldn't call those autogynephiliacs. Those are more like homosexual transvestites, as it were. They're not like trying to become a woman. They are a man who knows they're a man and will correct you if you think they're a woman. They just look very feminine. It's like femboys. Yeah, exactly. Femboys have gotten a bad rep in current year. Wondering what happened to being pegged by a woman with a mask yelling at you, "Who's your daddy?" What happened to the romance of the entire thing? Jesus Christ. The creator's gay. He was in a messed up movie called Chuck and Buck, and maybe he's calling out the autogynephiles, or maybe the episode will get a disclaimer. I have no idea. I feel like I've heard of the Chuck and Buck movie. That sounds familiar. Along with this, there was another tweet. Like this guy down here says, if you want to further understand the disturbing misogynistic nature of autogynephilia and feminization fetishes and how it inspires transgender identities, watch this video. It will change your life. It's like the truth about sissy hypno porn. I fucking can't stand people talking about sissy hypno, man. It's like a level of disgust I cannot express in words alone. But there was this thread by Malcolm Clark, a documentary maker who researches the origins of ideas that people claim are progressive but aren't. He says, the sissy fantasy, my latest article asks why the mainstream media was so shocked by Sam Rockwell's monologue in White Lotus. Did defenders of the trans agenda not realize his love of sissification is the erotic core of most trans identification in men? Click on my link in bio to read the full story. And he's right. He's absolutely right. When I first started talking about autogynephilia on stream, sometime in like 2019, 2020, a bunch of people in chat would try to push back on me when I would say the majority of people who identify as trans are not the dysphorics. They are the minority. The majority of trans-identified individuals are the fetishists, are the autogynephiliacs, are unfortunate mentally ill women pushed into this, and are ideologues. It is not the actual dysphorics. And so people were like, oh, but these bad actors are a small but loud minority in the trans area. And it's like, no. These bad actors are the majority, have been the majority. And it's very unfortunate that that's been the case. Second tweet here. That matters because if you don't understand dressing like a woman gets some men sexually aroused, you will fail to appreciate the importance of policing single-sex spaces. A good example of this ignorance was the baffled discussion of Rockwell's monologue in the LA Times. And this article excerpt says, I've watched the scene like 4 times because it is such an off-the-chain exploration of privilege, not to mention addiction, and a masterclass in acting. Rockwell deserves an Emmy for best delivery of most bizarre overdrinks ketchup in the history of television. Here's hoping his character makes his way to the White Lotus to maybe hook up with real-life wife Bib. In which case, I might have to ditch my monkey with a gun theory, or not. I don't understand how they got that as how that was presented in the show. I don't know how they can misconstrue that as privilege. But I guess these people who have been ideologically captured have very much incentive to not differentiate between ideologues, autogynephiliacs, and actual dysphorics. Probably because the person feigning ignorance is an ideologue themselves. There's no such thing as feminine penis. You're just gay. Kane's Brain, they give the $4.99. Is there a term for AGP but the other way around? Trans men seem pretty normal. The opposite of autogynephilia is autoandrophilia, which does exist, but it is not as common as autogynephilia. There was a Reddit that I've talked about on multiple occasions where women who are dealing with other mental issues such as depression or anxiety or, you know, like a body dysmorphia almost, because a lot of women start getting noticed when they start developing during puberty. Some women, when that happens, they start hating their breasts. They start hating the attention that they're getting from these things because kids are assholes, as it were. So some of these women who are convinced to take hormones and chop their tits off, there was a subreddit, and I can't remember its name, so I apologize for that. But there were these women who had been taking hormones, who had had top surgery, who, you know, look fairly masculine after all of these changes to their body. But they would be asking people in this subreddit to misgender them and use the incorrect pronouns and treat them as like almost a slave woman. And they wanted like sex correction to turn them back into a woman. And that is a weird degree of just confusion in someone's brain. No need to tomboy supremacy. The erasure is sadly real. Yes, you've seen that? Yeah, there have been some very prolific pictures. I've posted a few in Not Safe for Work before of the threads on that subreddit. I don't know if it's still there. I don't know if it got shut down. I don't remember the name, but I'm sure if it's still there, you could probably find it. And I have some screenshots of threads that were on that subreddit. Breed me back into my biology, daddy. It's like a super advanced fuck up my entire life version of women wanting a man to just tell them what to do. You know, like how I just turn into a drooling retard as soon as Nim comes on stream for tech support. I'm just like, I don't need my brain anymore. I'll throw it on the ground. You do everything. You think I went over that with Gundam? I might have. I might have. Sounds like AGP by proxy. No, because these are biological women. Right, so this would be like some strange, I don't even know what to call it. Just a strange fetish, I suppose. If they wanted to be women again, just tell them to get in the kitchen. Oh my god. Head empty, brain on floor. Cheems ball licking brain. I'm sure Cheems ball would eat my brain if it fell on the floor. Greg Braxton and Mary McNamara considered the sexual behavior under discussion so dark and extreme, they wondered if it had been included merely for shock value. Yet exhibitionist autogynephilia like this is far from uncommon. They should know that from their own paper. This is another Los Angeles article that says indecent exposure charges filed against a trans woman over LA spa incident. Which, again, typically, in the past, you would even get, like, banned on Twitch for mentioning autogynephilia, which is why it was scary for me at first to start talking about it. Because, again, the ideologues have control of basically everything. And even though autogynephilia is real, there's been that push to anyone mentioning it while it's still not known by the average person in public. There's the push to make sure that it's dismissed outright as like crazy, bigoted, Nazi, made-up nonsense. And it's not. In 2021, Darren Merriger, a trans activist, was charged with exposing himself in a We Spa women's changing room in LA. He was registered sex offender, but when he first accused the LA Times scandalously, it took his side, not the women's. Which again, not surprising. If we think about the hierarchy of what does most social harm. You'd think the LA Times writers might have learned a lesson from that, especially Mary McNamara. The year before Merriger exposed his erect penis in a woman's space, she ridiculed J.K. Rowling for warning of exactly that. Rowling was crazy and verifiably wrong, apparently. This is the J.K. Rowling and the curse of bathroom politics. And J.K. Rowling, someone who is very far to the left, is apparently tossed off the plantation for talking about biological reality. I always think back to that teacher who unfortunately lost his job that was trying to teach critical thinking, and whenever kids would mention how J.K. Rowling is transphobic to him, he would ask them to explain how and why she is, and they couldn't come up with any real answers. Anything can be a fetish, no exceptions. Her response to Rowling citing her experience of male violence was this gem. People talking about the sanctity of gender-segregated bathrooms should stop using the word safety when they mean my own problematic emotional comfort. Just how dumb is McNamara? Yeah, that's a very dumb statement, because if your argument is these people are dealing with their own problematic emotional comfort that we don't have to capitulate to, that would also count for people who don't want to use your preferred pronouns. Like other trans agenda advocating media, such as CNN, who called Rockwell's monologue bonkers, the New York Times, who refused to describe it in detail, and Forbes, which asked what it meant, McNamara has no real understanding of the lobby she so uncritically supports. Here's some more article excerpts. Meanwhile, it's a big meanwhile, in Bangkok, Rick meets up with his old buddy Frank, played by Oscar winner Sam Rockwell, in a surprise cameo. After he hands Rick a bag containing another gun, Frank launches into an absolutely bonkers monologue about his sexual compulsions and how he got off the never-ending carousel of lust and suffering. You gotta hear it to believe it. I think where I diverge from Malcolm on this is I don't think these people are calling it bonkers or are actually confused about it. I think the journalists are malicious liars who know what autogynephilia is, who know how many people perpetrate this fetish in public, but it's in their best interest to circle the wagons and pretend once again that this is just conspiracy theory, this isn't something that's real, it's crazy, made-up, sensationalist television, right? It's in their best interest to keep pretending that this is something crazy and not real. Forbes saying, what did Sam Rockwell's The White Lotus monologue mean? A memorable monologue from Frank in Season 3, Episode 5 of The White Lotus caught the attention of the internet, but what does it really mean? I think we all know. What did they mean by this? It's like how I've described before when people start talking about their gender euphoria. Gender euphoria is a very easy way to tell if the person you're talking to is an autogynephiliac or not. Because if they're talking about getting boners from wearing dresses or getting boners from wearing women's underwear, that's not dysphoria, that is the fetish. Your ex was just like that. I can't say this is for every single one, but a lot of autogynephiliacs have had stories about their existence with this fetish starting by stealing the underwear or the clothes of like their mothers or their sisters or an aunt or some family member. It's very strange that a lot of it seems to start that way. That's horrifying. It is horrifying. Do they not know that prominent trans writer Andrea Long Chu said it was sissy porn that inspired his transition? Or that its misogynistic vision of women is reflected in his statement, getting fucked makes you female because fucked is what a female is. And there's quite a lot of that same phrasing when you read trans activist writing, unfortunately. And this Malcolm Clark says, in my article, I trace the role of sissy fantasy in the creation of the trans lobby. It was Virginia Prince, Arnold Lohman, who created the first trans organization and magazine. He insisted cross-dressing was not sexually motivated. He told his psychiatrist another story. And like, I don't know anything about Arnold Lohman. This is like the first time I've heard that name. So I guess I need to look into how he created the first trans organization and magazine. But even if you look at someone like John Money, who performed experiments on 2 children and made those children participate in sexual activities, that's not going to help them feel like one gender or another. That's just fucked up. And I don't know how anyone takes John Money seriously, as that's something that he's done. For 29 years, Prince had 2 sessions every week with psychiatrist Robert Stoller, the man who invented the term gender identity. It was from talking to Prince and his studying his sissy porn that Stoller concluded the humiliation fantasy was driven by hatred for women. And you see this very frequently in how women are denigrated by trans activists pretty frequently. You see this by how people who don't actually have dysphoria will relentlessly attack women simply for being women. It's all over Twitter. The animosity is palpable. And you've even seen the crazy shit like Yeah, you could go for a real vagina, but I've got a designer one. You know, it's better than the real women. It's fucking weird. I hate women, therefore I shall become women. It's like the ultimate men do everything better than women do, therefore I will be a better woman than a woman could ever be. Right? Like, it is peak women hatred. It is because heterosexual autogynephiles believe women are inferior. They're sexually aroused by being viewed as one, as Frank in White Lotus is. Stoller argued the sissy act of being punished as a woman was his way to feel he was wreaking revenge on all women. I can be a better woman than a woman could ever be. Kirsche Verstal 2025. Jesus Christ. Kaiju, you hate the phrase. This is why they're fighting so hard to take over women's spaces and women's sports. They have a distinct disdain for women. They do. They do. And this is why when regular people were like, well, why don't we just have a third bathroom option? Why don't we have, like, you know, women's restrooms and men's restrooms and then a restroom that anyone can choose to use if they want to? This was never a valid option because these trans activists who aren't dysphorics, these trans activists who are fetishists, wanted to have the women's spaces for themselves. It's not enough to think of themselves as women. They need everyone else to also participate in their fetish and realize that they are better than the biological women. You're supposed to feel cute in dresses, not horny. Fucking gooners ruin everything. True. True and real. Fucking gooners. Booyah. Stoller also hypothesized that the sissy and autogynephile has a compulsion to expose his genitals to remind women he is male and therefore, as he thinks, inherently superior. Any woman who has been told to suck my lady dick will likely suspect Stoller was right. And there's like a little Twitter compilation here. J.K. Rowling, bitch, suck my dick. You're so pressed and insecure about trans women. Your womanhood should not feel threatened unless you come for us, which you did, you old tired bitch. I got banned because I called J.K. Rowling what she is, a bitch and a turf. Suck my cock. J.K. Rowling needs to be yeeted into the sun, as a wise man once said. She can suck my entire cock and choke on it. Fuck J.K. Rowling. She can suck my fat, juicy cock. J.K. Rowling can suck my dick. Dear J.K. Rowling, I need you to know you're wrong. This is not a matter of opinion. It is a fact that women can have penises and men can have vaginas. If you want to continue to deny facts, I want you to suck on my throbbing, massive, monstrous lady cock. J.K. Rowling, hey babe, you want to suck my long, sexy, non-binary cock? So anyway, J.K. Rowling can suck my fat cock. To any fellow trans siblings, don't let the words of some cis white woman invalidate you. Trans women are women, trans men are men, that's all there is to it. I love you all. J.K. Rowling can suck my big transgender cock. What is with these types turning into the hateful cunts they claim to fight the second someone goes against them? Again, these are men who are narcissistic, misogynist. Unironically, I know the word misogyny has kind of lost a lot of meaning over the past few years, but these are unironic misogynists trying to LARP as women and force you to see them as women. Usually you're depressed about AGP talk, but you've been laughing hard this entire stream, so thank you. Yeah, I can understand why it would be depressing, but I'm glad this is more funny than black pilling. Malcolm continues. Was it an accident that just after Virginia Prince claimed he would now be living exclusively as a woman, he embraced nudism? Although there could be no doubt as to my maleness, I was treated in all respects as one of the girls by men and women alike, he opined. Whatever the purpose of Rockwell's monologue, it has done us the service of exposing yet again the dangerous idiocy of journalists who brought the sanitized narrative of the trans lobby that claims cross-dressing men aren't sexual fetishists. The reason the trans lobby had to deny men were aroused by imagining themselves as women was that legislators and the public would have reacted with this kind of horror when they suggested these men should be allowed to access women's spaces. This is true, and this is also again why journalists have to feign ignorance and pretend they don't know what this monologue was. They have to pretend that autogynephilia is a made-up, bigoted term to discredit real, true, valid trans people. They have to pretend this isn't a thing because as soon as normal people find out, the majority of these people are forcing fetishes in public and also using children in political legislature for their fetish, and also using babies when they're breastfeeding in news articles as a fetish. Normal people are going to get real fucking fed up real fucking quick. there a difference between BDSM and sissy stuff? You thought it was all just a fetish, not this revenge stuff? You confused as a normie? I mean, there can be crossover between sissy stuff and BDSM. I see that pretty frequently, but sissy stuff is simply being seen as a woman. Autogynephilia is just, you dress as a woman, you want to feel like a woman, and to these narcissistic, misogynist people, feeling like a woman is being fucked, is being desired sexually. The more sexual attention you get, the more like a woman you feel in autogynephilia. BDSM is just a much broader array of different things. Yeah, it's a completely different thing, but yeah, BDSM and sissy can have crossover, just like BDSM and a daddy dom little girl has crossover, right? You've gotten yelled at for wearing your Detroit Red Wings hat in Oregon, having TDS outrage thrown at you. To put it simply, they're vindictive gay guys? No. They are, well, I would say they're gay, but they twist themselves into strange mental gymnastics to say that they're still straight. There are homosexual transsexuals, but typically the homosexual transsexuals will tell you point blank, I'm a man, right? Like, they don't have the fetish for being seen as a woman, which is like when we look at someone like Dylan Mulvaney is pretty fucking gay. I don't think Dylan Mulvaney has autogynephilia. I think he just really, really, really wants attention, and pretending to be a woman is a way to get that. You're just confused where the non-narcissists fit in here, i.e. the ones who don't push the agenda and just want to indulge in a fetish in private. If someone is participating in a fetish with consenting adults inside their home, and they don't bring it outside and they otherwise act like a normal human being, I don't give a shit about those people. Those are not the people I'm talking about, right? It's not just being seen as a woman, it's the absolute worst kind of degenerate degradation the sissy kink goes for. For the most part, most of the BDSM community outside that niche do not like the extreme light it makes the rest of us look like to the normies. I mean, I feel like more so than the degenerate sissy kink shit, it's more like the people who wear BDSM gear to like pride parades and shit, or like the Folsom Street Fair. Maybe don't do that stuff in public. Why should we care? We would never find... Yeah, if like, I'm never gonna find out about your fetish if you just do shit in private. And that's how it should be. I don't want to find out. The fucking leather dog outfits and shit. Yeah, there's a video that I've played on stream before of, like, skin suiting. And skin suiting is fucking horrific. Like, here we go. Here we go, chat. Man-made horrors beyond your comprehension. Robert is a female masker, part of the growing subculture of men who wear elaborate latex or silicone...
Robert's daughter knows nothing of his secret life as a female masker. Sherry emerges only when he is home alone.
For now.
I'm in a don't ask, don't tell situation with my daughter now.
Gee, I wonder why. This is fucking creepy.
Safely concealed behind the walls of his courtyard, Robert spends hours inside his silicone creation.
And see, if Robert spent hours inside his silicone creation in his own courtyard instead of being on this TLC show, we wouldn't know about it, and therefore we wouldn't care.
God, that's fabulous.
After years in solitude, Robert has decided to appear in public as Sherry at a gathering of fellow maskers in Minneapolis.
Oh god. Minneapolis, why?
Sherry, we meet at last! Oh,
Notice how all of them are dressed like freakish porn abominations.
oh my gosh! I am so glad you made it. Well, it looks sensational in your pictures, but you look twice as sensational in real time.
course they're all men. Well, yeah, it's a fetish.
Very few people who want to do this choose to go out.
The gang's all here. Now it's time for introductions.
The gang.
What happens at the rendezvous stays at the rendezvous.
Imagine the smell, chat.
Is everybody okay if we just kind of go around the room and have you say your
They have
name?
the fucking St. Andrew's cross there. Why?
This is my first time here.
Woo! Lease of Northern California, 6th Street, Riverdale World Rendezvous.
Never missed a rendezvous yet.
Wait, what was that on the fucking screen?
Rendezvous.
Never missed a...
They have a fucking latex bodysuit slideshow, man. These are like the people who put on the gimp suits and sit in the fucking play piss pools at the Folsom Street Fair. Oh my god, I hate this. You feel bad for the regular hotel guests? I feel bad for the regular hotel guests in the same way I feel bad when like furry conventions happen.
Rendezvous yet.
I'm Sam, and I'm just kind of enjoying being the queen that I really am.
What the fuck is like the weird chaperone in like the taxi man hat on the side?
A few months after the Rubber Doll World Rendezvous, Robert...
Oh yeah, the Rubber Doll World Rendezvous. You gotta make it sound prestige, you know? Only well-adjusted, happy people go to these things.
feeling newly empowered. As Sherry, he's about to step out for a stroll near his Southern California home.
See, and this is where it becomes a problem. It's never good enough for these people to just do it in the confines of their home. They eventually want to take it outside and force other people to be unwilling participants in their fetishistic nonsense. And this is where I have the problem with it. If you just stayed at fucking home and did whatever weird sex shit you wanted with yourself or other consenting adults, nobody would care.
How'd you put that on?
No bicycles on sidewalks. It should say fucking no weird fetishist people on sidewalks. Dude, please get it out.
Can I touch it?
Yes, go
Can
ahead.
I touch it?
Oh, it's so cool.
I hate California.
It's silicone.
It is. Well, it smells good. Oh, you feel, oh, you have
It
it.
feels
me
good.
too.
Oh my god.
It's
You're like
weird, but
so
like in a cool,
beautiful.
weird way. It's like, whoa, what's that? You want to check it out.
Yeah.
That makes you curious.
Yeah, yeah, you're curious.
Yeah, I'm curious. Let me
Just
kiss
remember
you,
who you are on
girl.
the inside. You'll be good. You're good.
Afternoon. Hello.
Tell me what just happened.
What just happened is I went out with a mask and talked to real people on a one-to-one basis without fear, without them being derisive or making fun of me or anything like that.
He is beautiful.
As soon as he gets out of earshot, I bet most of these people are like, what the fuck was that? Did you see that fucking freak? Like, there's no way. Like, yeah, when you pass them, they're just gonna be like, hi, because they don't want you to, I don't know, suddenly lunge at them and try to rip their skin off. But most people think that this is fucking absurd.
Fear without them being derisive or making fun of me or anything like that.
He is beautiful. I know he's a man, no? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, he's beautiful. You are very, very beautiful.
I don't know what accent this guy has, but he's just like, yeah, I'd fuck this guy. I'd fuck, you know, it's not gay, because, you know, he's got a woman mask on. As long as he's masked up like a woman, it's not gay. It's like when you fuck the Batman.
What does she look like?
Why is there a child there?
She's a woman. That's what she looks like. Absolutely.
This totally blows my mind. This is a once-in-a-lifetime thing that I never, ever even considered I'd ever do.
So I hate that. I hate the skin suiting. I mean, I guess at least they're wearing silicone and not actually stealing women's skin quite yet, but, you know, I still don't like it. Once in a lifetime, yeah, he's now emboldened to go out more frequently and be like, yeah, if anyone's not okay with this, you know, that's just, they're mean. They're meanie heads. They're meanie pee-pee poo-poo heads. And then, our favorite activist, I am interested in this strange arc this person seems to be on. Brianna Wu said about that scene in White Lotus, every actual trans gal knows these men. They're dangerous. We avoid them. I transitioned to be myself. Sex had nothing to do with it. If this is what you're into, anti-androgens will be a rude awakening. Please do not conflate us. I don't remember Brianna Wu ever talking about autogynephiliacs in the past. More recently, yes, but in the past, no. So it's interesting. It's interesting to see them being like, well, we can't conflate this stuff now. Didn't Wu pretend to be cis for years? I'm not capable of remembering all of the little details of all the weird shit surrounding Brianna Wu. Switch sides the moment he felt the tide changing. That's what it feels like. It feels like oh, I can't be as open anymore, so let's try to reel it back in. You know, we'll get some people convinced that I have changed my policies. So those were some interesting AGP tabs that I had up here.